Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition, my second attempt with the Dragon Age Keep imported choices. If you have not seen the previous videos, watch them first before watching this one. Link below will be... Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 once I figure out how to record games on the PS3. And obviously my first walkthrough of Inquisition, where it's like the first few videos I had no idea what the hell I was doing until, I was like caught up with everything. And then obviously Dragon Age, the Veilguard, even though I have no interest in playing that game, but I will still play it either way. And I hope a remake of the game happens. I just really hope a remake of the game happens, I hope. Oh, I should say a reboot, not a remake. A reboot of the game happens, I hope. And since the game was made by BioWare, other games created by BioWare will also be linked below, such as the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect Andromeda, and the next Mass Effect game, if it's still happening, because after the biggest flop ever happened with Veilguard, the next Mass Effect game, as far as I know, is still in hot water, so... unless, they can guarantee, the next Mass Effect game is not going to be a big disappointment, then, might give people hope to say, maybe this means, maybe, hopefully, they'll consider redoing, the Veilguards. Obviously, that's the Mass Effect games. Since the game is like a fantasy, mythological-like kind of world, and other types of fantasy, mythological world-like games will also be linked below. I'm not going to go into the specific details in those games. I'm going to say similar fantasy, mythological-like world games will be linked below. So, picking up where we left off, we have now traveled to the Emerald Graves, Emprise de Lune, and the Exalted Plains. Obviously, so much more for us to do and all of them, but with the current levels we have, obviously we can't go any further, so obviously we're gonna have to stop here for all of them. What I'm planning on doing now is starting the Here Lies the Abyss, where you were with Hawk and Grey Warden Stroud, where you figure out what's going on with the Wardens and trying to stop Water Commander Clarel. That's obviously Here Lies the Abyss, and if I remember correctly, when you do the Here Lies the Abyss, when it comes to locations, there's like... you go to the place where there's the dam with the souls wandering about, then you go to the desert with the dragons. I don't remember where you go after that, so... It's because what I'm planning to at least do is that once we go to these new locations, I'm not going to travel around. I'm just going to go in and straight away do the mission. Just straight away go in and do it just like that. And I am aware that we have some specific side stuff when it comes to, not ones like these ones, but more, ones like for Dorian, and not that one, Solas, sorry. Not cutting that one, not cutting those. When it comes to finding these specific things around the world, around the areas, it's not really that important. It's just more the personal ones when it comes to these ones and so forth. I don't really want to start him just yet, if that makes sense, because specifically for this one as well, the fallen fortune thing, because if I'm assuming correctly, this is the one for Josephine where you're supposed to help her regain the family business, and then I think the person you meet in Valriel says that how there was like a a hit on her or something. And obviously, if you make the right choices of, like, the romance stuff, it starts the romance with her. And I obviously want to continue my romance with her because, on my first game, I romanced with her. And no offense to Solus, but I don't really want to romance him. I really don't want to. I know where the romance ends in the Veilguard, and granted, Solus and Inquisitive fans have been waiting 10 long years for, their romance to end or to be like that, sure, but I don't know. As much as it's good and all, but it's not for me. Not for me, sorry. But, so, I wanted to at least continue the romance with Josephine, but I'm trying to remember, there's like the small stuff you do with her, because you technically do this one, and I know you do the one where her family informs her that she's engaged to someone where you duel, but I know that's something that happens after this one, because you sort of, well, I don't know if that still happens whether or not you're romancing her, but it technically still happens later on. So I don't know. A part of me is like, leave these stuffs for another day, but then, like, a part of me is like, just do it and get it over with, but well, you don't really have a time limit for these, because, look at Dorian. You got his personal side quest where, you got to meet his father, and then you got the one less Venatori stuff, so you don't really have a time limit with these things, but nah, screw it. We're just gonna do the, here, let's do this stuff.
It's a bit cold in here, don't you think? We are in the mountains.
I'm more concerned about everything scattering whenever there's a draft. To work?
Let's see what we have. At your service.
Good to see you safe, Inquisitor. We've got trouble ahead.
Are the Red Templars here?
There's a few up in the hills, but for once, they're not our biggest problem.
What is?
Crestwood was the site of a flood 10 years ago during the Blight. It's not the only rift in the area, but after it appeared, corpses started walking out of the lake. You'll have to fight through them to get to the cave where Sir Hawke's Grey Warden friend is hiding.
Have any undead attacked the camp?
We've had a few shamblers, but most head toward the village below. Maybe someone in Crestwood can tell you how to get to the rift in the lake. Maker knows they'll want help. Good luck, and please be safe.
Inquisitor, I have something for you.
What is it?
You may want to look into this.
There must be a way to get to the rift in the lake.
Swimming?
The Grey Wardens thank you for your aid, Inquisitor.
What are you doing in Crestwood?
A warden named Stroud is wanted for questioning. We heard he'd passed through here, but the villagers knew nothing. They have troubles enough.
What have you been told about this rogue warden?
Warden Commander Clarel ordered his capture. I can say no more than that. I hope Sir Stroud comes with us peacefully. I trained under him for a time. He's a good man, I'm sure of that.
Will you stay to fight the undead here?
My orders forbid it. Crestwood was only a detour.
Is that all the aid we can offer these people?
If the Inquisition can help, I beg you to do what you can. The villagers have already lost too many.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Sir, are you sure we can't help the village?
Our orders are clear. If we can't find Warden Stroud, we return to the commander with all haste.
Still don't feel right.
I know, but if I judge our orders rightly, harder decisions await.
None of those wardens mentioned a new leader. I don't think they're part of Corypheus' plot to seize the Order.
I didn't want to say much in case they were, but I think you're right.
I hope Hawke's warden friend has answers for us. That fort looks occupied.
Archers on the ramparts. Good defenses. They'll be...
Hawk and the Grey Warden should be inside that cave.
Glad you made it. I just got here myself. My contact with the Wardens should be at the back of the cave.
A group of Wardens were protecting a villager from corpses out near Crestwood.
They were likely hunting my friend. I'm glad they didn't come looking for people to help in here. They might well be good men. They've been given bad orders. It's just us. I brought the Inquisitor.
My name is Stroud, and I'm at your service, Inquisitor.
Most of you Wardens disappear. Then I run into a Darkspawn Magister named Corypheus. Do you think that one might have something to do with the other?
I fear it is so. When my friend Hawk slew Corypheus, Weishaupt was happy to put the matter to rest. But an archdemon can survive wounds that seem fatal, and I feared Corypheus might possess the same power. My investigation uncovered clues, but no proof. Then, not long after, every warden in Orlais began to hear the calling.
You never told me.
It was a Grey Warden matter. I was bound by an oath of secrecy.
Is the calling some sort of Grey Warden ritual?
The calling tells a warden that the Blight will soon claim him. Starts with dreams. Then come whispers in his head. The warden says his farewells and goes to the deep roads to meet his death in combat.
And every Grey Warden in Orlais is hearing that right now. They think they're dying.
Yes. Likely because of Corypheus. If the Wardens fall, who will stand against the next Blight? It is our greatest fear.
Thanks to the calling, Corypheus has them scared. They're playing right into his hands.
How can Corypheus make all these Wardens hear the calling?
I cannot say. We know little about him, save that he is dangerous. He is a Magister, as well as a Darkspawn, and speaks with the voice of the Blight. That lets him affect the minds of Wardens, since we are tied to the Blight ourselves. It must be how he created this false calling.
You said all the Wardens are hearing the calling. Does that include you?
Sadly, yes. It lurks like a wolf in the shadows around a campfire. The creature that makes this music has never known the love of the Maker, but at times, I almost understand it. We must uncover what Corypheus has done and end it. This cannot stand.
Is the calling they're hearing real, or is Corypheus mimicking it somehow?
I know not. Even as a senior warden, I had heard only the vaguest whispers of Corypheus. The Wardens believe that this calling is real, and they will act accordingly. That is all we know for certain.
So the Wardens think they're dying and have stopped thinking clearly. That won't go well.
We are the only ones who can slay archdemons. Without us, the next Blight will consume the world. Warden Commander Clarel spoke of a blood magic ritual to prevent future Blights before we all perished. When I protested the plan as madness, my own comrades turned on me. Grey Wardens are gathering here, in the western approach. It is an ancient Tevinter ritual tower. Meet me there, and we will find answers.
Let's go.
I heard what he said. Hopefully we'll find some answers in the western approach. Though I fear what those answers will be. I've seen too much blood magic to ever trust where it leads.
I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Something I can help you with?
Yes. Possibly. We saw so many Red Templars at the assault on Haven. Perhaps all that was left of the Order. What we didn't see was Lord Seeker Lucius. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead. But the Seekers began this war against the mages. They cannot have simply vanished. There must be a trail we can follow, yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Seekers do not use lyrium. I assume Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance... If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
A gracious lady bit.
And she knew how to enrage them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can only
Is your network of contacts still active after what happened?
After Lord Arsehole and Vishal? Of course. He may have killed people, but that just means there's more who hate him. Crap that he killed people, though. They were just trying to stand up a little.
Is Red Jenny real? Or was she always just you and your friends?
Dunno.
Don't you care?
Not if it works. I mean, red is scary because blood. And Jenny is... Look, nobody fears the bunch of people who do random stuff. And besides, it's easy. Nobles want a bogeyman because they need to believe normal people can't get at them. Numbers, right? It don't have to be so complicated.
Doesn't this mean people think you're guilty of more than you actually do?
Suppose. Does it matter?
Shouldn't it?
Important people kill over imagined insults. I've made more than enough real ones, so no. I don't suppose it does.
We annoyed some nobles. Does that really help all that much?
Gets you paid, for one. You seem happy enough about that. I don't get what's so hard to understand. Your stuff works the same. Your Inquisition, I mean. Punch a bully, people like you. Do it because they asked, or let them think they asked. They like it even more. It's inspiring, even if it sometimes goes tips up and they take a hit back. You know, like Haven.
I get it, kind of. We just don't think of what you do as that kind of inspiration.
Well, we should take a good hard look at where our people come from. All the same people. At least my baddies are understandable. No kicking in the sky there.
We'll talk another time.
It's all good, innit?
We should get to the ritual tower in the western approach as soon as possible, Your Worship.
Clarel's the Warden Commander, right? What's she like?
She was a good warden. Once. Among those King Kalen reached out to before the Blight. She always resented missing the chance to help. When the calling came, Clarel stopped listening to the rest of us. Only magic would solve this problem, she said.
Do you think Corypheus is using the calling to control her?
It's hard to say. I have heard the whispers of the calling myself, but it's only noise, no words. Certainly no commands. Either way, the guilt is hers. She's Warden Commander. She should bow to no one's word but Weishaupt's.
Corypheus was in a Warden prison, right? So you must know something about him.
I know little, and that much only because of my relative seniority. Most Wardens have never heard of him. When I suggested Corypheus might have something to do with the calling, the Warden mages turned on me. I trained some of those Wardens myself. If I knew any more of Corypheus, I would share it, Your Worship.
What's it like, being a Warden? I can't even imagine.
It's been a long time since I was anything else. It becomes your life, searching out Darkspawn, killing them, ensuring no one ever knows how close they are.
You said that Clarel is Warden Commander. I thought that the hero Ferelden led the Wardens.
There is more than one Warden Commander. Each oversees a region, most often a single nation. The woman you speak of was Warden Commander of Ferelden, as well as Queen Consort to Alistair. She disappeared some time ago. It is possible she joined the rest of the Wardens, although I cannot say for certain.
We'll talk later.
Gloat all you like. I have this one. Are you sassing me, Commander? I didn't know you had it in you. Why do I even... Inquisitor. Leaving, are you? Does this mean I win?
Please, don't stop on my account.
All right. Your move. You need to come to terms with my inevitable victory. You'll feel much better.
Really? Because I just won, and I feel fine.
Don't get smug. There will be no living with you.
I should return to my duties as well. Unless you would care for a game.
Prepare the board, Commander.
As a child, I played this with my sister. She would get this stuck-up grin whenever she won, which was all the time. My brother and I practiced together for weeks. Oh, the look on her face the day I finally won. And between serving the Templars and the Inquisition, I haven't seen them in years. I wonder if she still plays.
You have siblings?
2 sisters and a brother.
Where are they now?
They moved to South Reach after the Blight. I do not write to them as often as I should. Ah, it's my turn.
All right, let's see what you've got.
This may be the longest we've gone without discussing the Inquisition, or related matters. To be honest, I appreciate the distraction.
You can't be serious all the time. Well, maybe you can.
I believe this one is yours. Well played.
At your service.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit. Our mounts have never had better. Perhaps Master Dennett will join us now. A space like this needs an expert.
First, a full wheel of Antivan smoked cheese, and now 3 royals worth of crushed mint. They were right here. I remember seeing someone take them. I can't recall their face.
There's no end of it. I can store an army. Let's look around.
Good day. The merchants coming in now say there are countless bodies lying butchered on the side of the road.
Good day. Good day.
Uh-oh, nobody's here. This doesn't bode well.
Dorian.
Father. So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvus couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor. What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush? Kidnapping? Warm family reunion?
This is how it has always been.
Considering you lied to get him here, Dorian has every right to be furious.
You don't know the half of it. But maybe you should.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
I'll need you to explain that.
Did I stutter? Men and the company thereof, as in sex. Surely you've heard of it.
This is not exactly news, Dorian.
And why should it be? Why should anyone care? I have no idea.
This display is uncalled for.
No, it is called for. You called for it by luring me here.
This is not what I wanted.
I'm never what you wanted, Father. Or had you forgotten?
That's a big concern in Tevinter, then.
Only if you're trying to live up to an impossible standard. Every Tevinter family is intermarrying to distill the perfect mage, perfect body, perfect mind, the perfect leader. It means every perceived flaw, every aberration is deviant and shameful. It must be hidden.
So that's what all of this is about? Who you sleep with?
That's not all it's about.
Dorian, please. If you'll only listen to me.
Why? So you can spout more convenient lies? He taught me to hate blood magic. The resort of the weak mind. Those are his words. But what was the first thing you did when your precious heir refused to play pretend for the rest of his life? You tried to change me.
I only wanted what was best for you.
You wanted the best for you. For your fucking legacy. Anything for that.
I think it's time we left.
I agree. He's a good man, my father. Deep down. He taught me principle is important. He cares for me in his way, but he won't ever change. I can't forgive him for what he did. I won't.
you all right?
No, not really. Thank you for bringing me out there. Even if it didn't work out. Maker knows what you must think of me now, after that whole display.
I think you're very brave.
Brave?
It's not easy to abandon tradition and walk your own path.
At any rate, time to drink myself into a stupor. It's been that sort of day. Join me sometime, if you've a mind.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
I'm being clucked at by a hen, evidently.
Don't play the fool with me, young man.
If I wanted to play the fool, I could be rather more convincing, I assure you.
Your glib tongue does you no credit.
You'd be surprised at the credit my tongue gets me, Your Reverence.
Oh,
What's going on here?
It seems the revered mother is concerned about my undue influence over you.
It is just concern. Your worship, you must know how this looks.
You might need to spell it out, my dear.
This man is of Tevinter. His presence at your side, the rumors alone.
What's wrong with him being from Tevinter, specifically?
I'm fully aware that not everyone from the Imperium is the same.
How kind of you to notice. Yet still you bow to the opinion of the masses.
The opinion of the masses is based on centuries of evidence. What would you have me tell them?
The truth?
The truth is I do not know you, and neither do they. Thus, these rumors will continue.
Oh, I'd like to hear what these rumors are exactly.
I could not repeat them, your worship.
Repeat them? So you've shared them before?
See, I meant no disrespect, Inquisitor. Only to ask after this man's intentions. If you feel he is without ulterior motive, then I humbly beg forgiveness of you both.
Well, that's something.
She didn't get to you, did she?
No, it takes more to get to me than thinly veiled accusations.
You don't think she'll do anything?
Do what? Yours is the good opinion I care about, not hers. I should ask, do the rumors bother you?
I wish they wouldn't disparage you. They don't know you.
They know you even less than they know me. Perhaps it's odd to say, but I think of you as a friend, Inquisitor. I have precious few friends. I didn't think to find one here. Don't speak. I detest confessions, and I'd like to get this over with. Allow me to say I'll stand beside you, against Corypheus, my countrymen, or spurious rumor, so long as you'll have me.
The funniest thing I've seen in years. That cat dancing around, hopping and pouncing like a fool. Made my day bright, it did.
She knows they're going to kill her. Can only save what's important. Precious space to remember her smile.
So, Cole. Someone stole an entire cheese wheel.
Mice like cheese.
Do mice also like bowls of crushed mint?
That was for the cats.
So the cheese lures the mice, and the mice lure the cats, and then they smell the mint.
Mint makes the cats dance and play.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
worship. A pleasure.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
We cannot neglect our soldiers' training.
Can we neglect roads? Our allies cannot take the same route through the mountains we did.
Let's see what we have.
Inquisitor.
Visitor, welcome to the Western Approach. We've sighted Warden activity to the southwest, but no one's been close enough to figure out what they're doing. Between the sandstorms and the vicious wildlife, we haven't made it far out here. One of my men got too close to a poison hot spring and gave me a slightly delirious report of a high dragon flying overhead. In short, this might just be the worst place in the entire world. Be careful out there.
Well, it's good to know what I'm in for.
Sorry I don't have more for you. We intercepted a Venatori messenger and, persuaded him to give up the orders he was carrying. We have them here. This entire place. It just feels like something's not right. Be careful.
This might interest you, sir.
What is it?
This could help us.
Bandits? But they would have taken the carts. I don't like this.
What are the odds that all these people just happen to die here?
These supplies were intended for someone out in this desert. Stolen, perhaps?
What happened here? Whoever did this has a lot to answer for. A chantry symbol out here. Odd.
Tell me we won't be fighting that creature.
We have to turn back.
Someone at Skyhold will have a solution.
I'm glad you made it, Inquisitor. I fear they've already started the ritual.
It has to be blood magic. Steel yourselves. Whatever lies inside won't be pretty. You take point. I'll guard your backs.
Wait! No.
Warden Commander Clarel's orders were clear.
This is wrong!
Remember your oath. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death...
I'm sorry.
Sacrifice. Good. Now bind it just as I showed you. Inquisitor, what an unexpected pleasure. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, at your service.
You are no warden.
But you are. The one Clarel let slip. And you found the Inquisitor and came to stop me. Shall we see how that goes?
It looks like you've already done some of my work for me.
What, him? We simply needed his blood. Oh, were you hoping to garner sympathy? Maybe make the Wardens feel a bit of remorse? Wardens, hands up! Hands down!
Corypheus has taken their minds.
They did this to themselves. You see, the calling had the Wardens terrified. They looked everywhere for help.
Even to Winter.
Yes, and since it was my master who put the calling into their little heads, we in the Venatori were prepared. I went to Clarel full of sympathy, and together we came up with a plan. Raise a demon army, march into the deep roads, and kill the old gods before they wake.
Corypheus marching across Orlais with an army of demons. That was in the future I saw at Redcliffe.
And now you know how it begins. Sadly for the Wardens, the binding ritual I taught their mages has a side effect. They're now my master's slaves. This was a test. Once the rest of the Wardens complete the ritual, the army will conquer Thedas.
Do you really want to see the world fall to the Blight? What do you get out of this?
The Elder One commands the Blight. He is not commanded by it, like the mindless Darkspawn. The Blight is not unstoppable or uncontrollable. It is simply a tool.
No, Livius, you're the tool.
As for me, while the Elder One rules from the Golden City, we, the Venatori, will be his god-kings here in the world.
Why would Clarel risk using demons?
Demons need no food, no rest, no healing. Once bound, they will never retreat, never question orders. They are the perfect army to fight through the deep roads. Or across Orlais. Now they are bound to my master.
So Corypheus influenced the Wardens and made them do this ritual?
Made them? No! Everything you see here, the blood sacrifices to bind the demons, the Wardens did it of their own free will. Fear is a very good motivator, and they were very afraid.
That's a lie. The Grey Wardens are heroes. They would never do this willingly.
The Grey Wardens care about nothing save stopping blights. They will do anything to accomplish that. You should have seen Clarel agonize over the decision. Burdens of command, I suppose.
Why would the Wardens try to kill the old gods?
A blight happens when dark spawn find an old god and corrupt it into an archdemon. If someone fought through the deep roads and killed the old gods before they could be corrupted, woof, no more blights, ever. The Wardens sacrificed their lives and saved the world. Although I fear history will remember them a little differently now.
That's all I needed to know.
Oh, please. The Elder One showed me how to deal with you in the event you're foolish enough to interfere again. That mark you bear, the anchor that lets you pass safely through the veil, you stole that from my master. He's been forced to seek other ways to access the Fade. When I bring him your head, his gratitude will be... Ah! Kill them!
You were correct. Through their ritual, the mages are slaves to Corypheus.
And the Warden warriors? Sacrificed? I knew the Wardens would go too far.
Human sacrifice, demon summoning. Who looks at this and thinks it's a good idea?
The fearful and the foolish.
The Wardens were wrong, Hawk, but they had their reasons.
All blood mages do. Everyone has a story they tell themselves to justify bad decisions. And it never matters. In the end, you are always alone with your actions.
I believe I know where the Wardens are, Your Worship. Erimond fled in that direction. There's an abandoned Warden fortress that way. Adamant.
Good thinking.
The Warden and I will scout out Adamant and confirm that the other Wardens are there. We'll meet you back at Skyhold.
We tracked Erimond to Adamant Fortress. Hopefully we can stop this madness before it goes any further.
How could the Wardens willingly sacrifice their own members to summon demons?
Grey Wardens leave their lives behind and dedicate themselves to fighting the Blight, no matter the cost. Our actions may be brutal, even reprehensible, but we know that the alternative is worse. The rituals, the sacrifices. It's too far, even for me. But I can understand them making the decision. Had I not known Corypheus was involved, I might have bowed my head and accepted my orders.
We'll talk later.
First the Templars, now the Grey Wardens. Both devoted their lives to fighting evil. Now they serve it.
If I was possessed by a demon, would you...
I would rather not consider it.
Is there anything I should know?
I'd gotten used to mages disliking me on principle. Vivienne's views on Templars are surprisingly traditional.
That's all for now.
Another time, then.
We need to head to Adamant Fortress as soon as possible. If there's a chance we can stop Corypheus from destroying the Wardens, we can't let it slip away.
What do you think we'll uncover in Adamant?
Nothing good. Hearing the Warden's plan was bad enough. Now we'll see it firsthand. Best case, we find a nightmare. Worst, we'll find a nightmare, then die painfully. I still can't believe what they're doing. I thought I understood the order.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit. Finally, a place for... the horses. I forgot about the Ferelden horses.
It wasn't so bad today. The cook was in a jolly mood. She didn't shout at all, even when I dropped the ladle.
Thank you for this, Inquisitor. We are not far from where my friend was summoned.
Everything here is blurry. It wants to forget, but now the rocks are solid.
One of the mages. Killed by arrows, it would seem. These aren't mages. The bodies are burned, and these claw marks. No. No, no, no.
Demons.
My friend. Ah!
The mages turned your friend into a demon.
Yes.
You said it was a spirit of wisdom, not a fighter.
A spirit becomes a demon when denied its original purpose.
So they summoned it for something so opposed to its own nature that it was corrupted. Fighting.
Let us ask them.
A mage! You're not with the bandits? Do you have any lyrium potions? Most of us are exhausted. We've been fighting that demon.
You summoned that demon! Except it was a spirit of wisdom at the time. You made it kill! You twisted it against its purpose!
I understand how it might be confusing to someone who has not studied demons, but after you help us, I can...
We are not here to help you.
We came to help your friend. Any way to do that now that it's a demon?
You cannot befriend a demon? However amicable it might appear, it must...
Shut up! You summoned it to protect you from the bandits.
Yes.
You bound it to obedience, then commanded it to kill. That is when it turned. The summoning circle. We break it, we break the binding. No orders to kill, no conflict with its nature, no demon.
What? The binding is the only thing keeping the demon from killing us. Whatever it was before, it is a monster now.
Inquisitor, please!
I've studied rituals like this. I should be able to disrupt the binding quickly.
Thank you. We must hurry!
El Abalos en Asel Atalin. Mamilava Halani. Mala Solidinadas. Magilani Midinan.
Manu Vinen. Dareth Shara.
I heard what it said. It was right. You did help it.
Now? I must endure.
Let me know if I can help.
You already have. All that remains now is them.
Thank you. We would not have risked the summoning, but the roads are too dangerous to travel unprotected.
You tortured and killed my friend.
We didn't know it was just a spirit. The book said it could help us.
Damn them all. I need some time alone. I will meet you back at Skyhold. Inquisitor.
How are you, Solus?
It hurts. It always does. But I will survive.
Thank you for coming back.
You were a true friend. You did everything you could to help. I could hardly abandon you now.
What happens when a spirit dies?
It isn't the same for mortals. The energy of spirits returns to the Fade. If the idea giving the spirit form is strong, or if the memory has shaped other spirits, it may someday rise again.
You're saying your friend might come back?
No, not really. A spirit's natural state is peaceful semi-existence. It is rare to be able to reflect reality. Something similar may reform one day, but it might have a different personality. It would likely not remember me. It would not be the friend I knew.
Where did you go?
I found a quiet spot and went to sleep. I visited the place in the Fade where my friend used to be. It's empty. But there are stirrings of energy in the void. Someday something new may grow there.
I'll let you get back to work.
All right. Thank you again.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, Do you have a moment? What were you like before the anchor? Has it affected you? Changed you in any way? Your mind? Your morals? Your spirit?
I don't believe so.
Ah.
Why do you ask?
You show a wisdom I have not seen since my deepest journeys into the ancient memories of the Fade. You are not what I expected.
I don't think of myself as different from anyone.
Perhaps not in the form of your body, no. You have shown subtlety in your actions. A wisdom that goes against everything I expected. If the Dalish could raise someone with a spirit like yours, have I misjudged them?
Most of the Dalish care more about impressing other hunters with a good shot or talking about how awful humans are. There are only a few who seem to care about the old ways.
Perhaps that is it. I suppose it must be. Most people act with so little understanding of the world, but not you.
So what does this mean, Solus?
It means that I respect you deeply, Inquisitor. And I have disturbed you enough for one evening.
I tracked that Venatori mage back to Adamant Fortress. They're looking at assault options now in the war room.
Thanks for coming.
You did well, Varric. The Inquisitor is just who we need.
It's been great. Murderous wardens, archdemon attacks, plenty of blood mages and crazy Templars. Just like home.
I know how much you hated leaving Kirkwall.
This is the ass end of Thedas. You know they eat snails here? Still, I think I need to finish this out. If it weren't for me and Bartrand, none of this would have happened. So much for changing our lives.
That's what happens when you try to change things. Things change. You can't always control how. I tracked the Wardens to Adamant Fortress, Inquisitor. Your specialists have my full report.
The order was sent?
This morning. Inquisitor. Inquisitor.
All right.
Adamant Fortress has stood against the Darkspawn since the time of the Second Blight.
Fortunately for us, that means it was built before the age of modern siege equipment. A good trebuchet will do major damage to those ancient walls. And thanks to our Lady Ambassador...
Lady Cyril of Jadar was pleased to lend the Inquisition her sabers. They've already delivered the trebuchets. That is the good news.
And the bad news?
Arimond called the ritual at the western approach a test. He may already be raising his army of demons in the fortress.
The Inquisition forces can breach the gate, but if the Wardens already have their demons...
I found records of Adamant's construction. There are choke points we can use to limit the field of battle.
That's good. We may not be able to defeat them outright. But if we cut off reinforcements, we can carve you a path to Warden Commander Clarel.
It sounds like our best option.
It'll be hard fought, no way around it. But we'll get that gate open.
It's also possible that some Wardens may be sympathetic to our cause. The warriors may be willing to listen to reason, though I doubt they will turn against Clarel directly. The mages, however, are slaves to Corypheus. They will fight to the death.
We've built the siege engines and readied our forces, Inquisitor. Give the word, we march on Adamant.
Fall back! They're through!
All right, Inquisitor. You have your way in. Best make use of it. We'll keep the main host of demons occupied for as long as we can.
I'll be fine. Just keep the men safe.
We'll do what we have to, Inquisitor. Warden Stroud will guard your back. Hawk is with our soldiers on the battlements. She's assisting them until you arrive. There's too much resistance on the walls. Our men on the ladders can't get a foothold. If you can clear out the enemies on the battlements, we'll cover your advance.
For some insane ritual! Can't you see? This is madness! It's no use! Their minds are not their own! Keep your distance!
Lay down your weapons and surrender!
Never! Wardens, attack!
Someone help!
you! slaves to Corinthus. This is going to be bloody.
Good work. Stay with my forces and see that they survive this.
I'll keep the demons off them as best I can.
stand against the demons for long.
lives on the battlements, Inquisitor.
Wardens! We are betrayed by the very world we have sworn to protect!
The Inquisition is inside, Clarel. We have no time to stand on ceremony.
These men and women are giving their lives, Magister. That might mean little in Tavinta, but for the Wardens, it is a sacred duty. It has been many long years, my friend.
Too many, Clarel. If my sword arm can no longer serve the Wardens, then my blood will have to do.
It will.
Stop them! We must complete the ritual!
Clarel, if you complete that ritual, you're doing exactly what Ehrman wants.
What? Fighting the Blight? Keeping the world safe from Darkspawn? Who wouldn't want that? And yes, the ritual requires blood sacrifice. Hate me for that if you must, but do not hate the Wardens for doing their duty!
We make the sacrifices no one else will. Our warriors die proudly for a world that will never thank them.
And then your Tavinta ally binds the mages to Corypheus!
Corypheus? But he's dead.
These people will say anything to shake your confidence, Clarel.
Bring it through! Please. I've seen more than my share of blood magic. It is never worth the cost.
I trained half of you myself! Do not make me kill you to stop this madness!
Be ready with the ritual, Clarel. This demon is truly worthy of your strength.
Blackwall, can you talk some sense into them?
You don't know me, but you may have heard my name. Like you, I've given my life to the Grey Wardens. The first time I put on this armor, I felt like I belonged. Like I was part of something honorable. Something with a purpose. I know how good that feels. How safe. But fighting and dying here today won't stop the Blight. If you want to stop the Blight, kill that bastard up there! His master is the living embodiment of its corruption!
Clarel, we have come so far. You're the only one who can do this.
Perhaps we could test the truth of these charges to avoid more bloodshed.
Or perhaps I should bring in a more reliable ally. My master thought you might come here, Inquisitor. He sent me this to welcome you.
Getting a little hot in here.
The Wardens have turned against the
You've destroyed the Grey Wardens!
You did that to yourself, you stupid bitch. All I did was dangle a little power before your eyes, and you couldn't wait to get your hands bloody. You could have served a new god.
I will never serve the Blight!
Where are we?
We were falling. Perhaps we landed.
No. This is the Fade. The Inquisitor opened a rift. We came through. And survived. I never thought I would ever find myself here physically. Look. The Black City. Almost close enough to touch.
This is incredible.
What spirit commands this place? I have never seen anywhere like it.
It's not how I remember the Fade either. Perhaps it's because we're here physically, instead of just dreaming. The stories say you walked out of the Fade at Haven. Was it like this?
I don't know. I still can't remember what happened the last time I did this.
Well, whatever happened at Haven, we can't assume we're safe now. That huge demon was right on the other side of that rift Eramond was using, and there could be others.
In our world, the rift the demons came through was nearby, in the main hall. Can we escape the same way?
It beats waiting around for demons to find us, right? There. Let's go.
This is fascinating. It is not the area I would have chosen, of course. But to physically walk within the Fade.
Right. You like it here. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, literally.
Solus, you're the expert on this place. Anything helpful?
The Fade is shaped by intent and emotion. Remain focused, and it will lead you where you wish to go. The demon that controls this area is extremely powerful. Some variety of fear, I would guess. I suggest you remain wary of its manipulations, and prepare for what is certain to be a fascinating experience.
That looks odd. Something here. Let's look around. Something here. Let's look around.
the Maker. Could that be?
I greet you, Warden. And you, Champion.
Divine Justinia. Back at Haven, I thought I saw... How can you be here?
She's not. I fear we face a spirit. Or a demon.
You think my survival impossible. Yet here you stand alive in the Fade yourselves. In truth, proving my existence either way would require time we do not have.
Then simply tell us what you are.
I am here to help you. You do not remember what happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, Inquisitor.
No, I don't.
The memories you have lost were taken by the demon that serves Corypheus. It is the nightmare you forget upon waking. It feeds off memories of fear and darkness, growing fat upon the terror. The false calling that terrified the Wardens into making such grave mistakes? Its work.
I would gladly avenge the insult this nightmare dealt my brethren.
You will have your chance, brave Warden. This place of darkness is its lair.
Corypheus seems to have a lot of demons at his disposal. How does he command so many?
I know not how he commands his army of demons. His power may come from the Blight itself, but the nightmare serves willingly. For Corypheus has brought much terror to this world. He was one of the Magisters who unleashed the first Blight upon the world, was he not? Every child's cry as the Archdemon circles. Every dwarf's whimper in the deep roads. The nightmare has fed well.
Can you help us get out of the Fade?
That is why I found you. When you entered the Fade at Heaven, the demon took a part of you. Before you do anything else, you must recover it. These are your memories, Inquisitor.
What's going on here?
Bring forth the sacrifice.
Why are you doing this? You, of all people! Why are you doing this? You, of all people!
Keep the sacrifice still.
Someone, help me! What's going on here?
So, your mark did not come from Andraste. It came from the orb Corypheus used in his ritual.
Corypheus intended to rip open the veil, use the anchor to enter the Fade, and throw open the doors of the Black City. Not for the old gods, but for himself. When you disrupted his plan, the orb bestowed the anchor upon you instead.
I never thought Andraste did this. I did this myself, through my actions. No maker required.
And now you may be certain. You cannot escape the lair of the nightmare until you regain all that it took from you. You have recovered some of yourself, but now it knows you are here. You must make haste. I will prepare the way ahead.
Something troubles you, Hawk.
Trying to ignore the Grey Wardens holding the Divine in that vision? Their actions led to her death.
I assumed he had taken their minds, as you have seen him do before. Come, we can argue after we escape this dark place.
Oh, I intend to.
I've never met the Divine. You think that was really her?
We have survived in the Fade physically. Perhaps she did as well. Or, if it is a spirit that identifies so strongly with Justinia, that it believes it is her, how can we say it is not?
She seems interested in helping us. That much is clear.
And the nightmare? From what she said, I don't look forward to meeting it.
Sounds like it preys on fear, stealing people's memories. That's low, even for a demon.
Fear is a very old, very strong feeling. It predates love, pride, compassion, every emotion. Save perhaps desire. Be wary. The nightmare will do anything in its power to weaken our resolve.
After what it did to my fellow Wardens, I pray we find some way to strike it down.
We have a visitor. Some silly little girl comes to steal the fear I kindly lifted from her shoulders. You should have thanked me and left your fear where it lay, forgotten. You think the pain will make you stronger? What fool filled your mind with such drivel? The only one who grows stronger from your fears is me. But you are a guest here in my home. So by all means, let me return what you have forgotten.
expected worse.
These are but minor servants of the nightmare.
Pity.
Watch out! I don't know what those are, but they're coming our way.
What's that?
Perhaps I should be afraid, facing the most powerful members of the Inquisition. Like Blackwall, there's nothing like a Grey Warden, and you are nothing like a Grey Warden.
I'll show you a Warden's strength, beast.
Once again, Hawk is in danger because of you, Varric. You found the red lyrium. You brought Hawk here.
Just keep talking, Smiley.
Ma Herelan, Mabanal Inasalis, Marsolas Ina Martin.
Bonal Nadas.
Did you think you mattered, Hawk? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Isabella is going to die, just like your family and everyone you ever cared about.
I'm going to enjoy killing this thing.
Those were little fears. Tiny manifestations spawned from the nightmare itself.
And they just happened to look like spiders.
Spiders? That is not what I saw.
Remember, we walk in the Fade. Demons of fear shape their appearance to unnerve each of us.
Wonderful.
The nightmare is closer now. It knows you seek escape. With each moment, it grows stronger. We only have a short time. Ask what you must.
I'd like to know more about the nightmare.
It is not simply fear. It is the terror you cannot remember, the horror your mind erases to protect you. When old memories no longer make the veteran soldier's hand tremble, it is because the nightmare has taken them. Most people avoid their fears. It is simple for the demon to steal the darkest fragments. They forget, and it feeds. Corypheus has helped it grow monstrous.
It makes people forget the worst parts of their fears. It almost sounds like the nightmare is helping people.
Perhaps it was, once. But now, it helps none but Corypheus. By his hand, it creates more fear and grows even stronger. In any case, robbing people of their fears is never a kindness. At best, it is a mistake born of compassion. Without fear and pain and failure, we cannot learn. We cannot grow, as you cannot grow until you recover all that was taken from you.
What can you tell me about this mark on my hand?
You already know how the mark came to be upon your hand. As for what it is the needle that pulls the thread, as well as the key.
I don't understand.
It is the needle that passes through the veil, as little else can. You are the thread, and it is the key that locks or unlocks the door to the Fade. It lets you walk in the Fade physically, and survive. Without it, Corypheus must find another way to the Black City. It is part of you now, and cannot be removed without your death.
You must know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
As must you. The answer lies in your memories, lost to the nightmare when you last walked the Fade.
Or you could just tell me.
Would you trust my words? Trust what you have seen.
So, can you tell me what you are?
I told you. I am helping you.
Yes, but are you her, or some kind of Fade remnant of her? Or a spirit imitating her?
Our world is never that simple. What if the answer is none of those things? Or all of them? I am what the Maker made me. The question is, are you what the Maker made you, Inquisitor?
If I was chosen, I just don't understand why. Why me? Why this?
You are not the first to ask such questions. Did Andraste not question when the Maker charged her with an impossible task? Did she not feel unworthy? Her questions didn't lessen her heroism.
So now I'm a hero?
Not yet. Perhaps not ever. The choice will be yours.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you?
I am what you see. All other answers rest in you.
Tell me why you're here. Why take part in this?
After heaven, I hid here. I watched quietly, learned what I could, and searched for some way to help. And then you came.
I don't know what that means.
Corypheus and the Nightmare do an injustice to the world. You must stop them. Perhaps you were meant to stop them. Perhaps that is why I am here.
So, all of this is just a dream? Part of the Fade?
It is not just a dream. The minds of mankind are made real here. Their hopes, their loves, and their fears. What changes their world also changes this one. And yours are footsteps that move mountains in both. Tread carefully, Inquisitor. This ground is more treacherous than you know.
We should keep moving.
Go! The demons!
That's how I escaped.
The demons! Keep running! Ah!
It was you. They thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade, but it was the Divine behind me. And then you... She died.
Yes.
So this creature is simply a spirit?
For all we know, it's working with Corypheus.
If you believe that, strike me down.
The nightmare watched Corypheus and grew powerful off the fear. Were you like that for the Divine? A spirit watching her from the Fade, inspired by her faith.
If that is the story you wish to tell, it is not a bad one.
What we do know is that the mortal Divine perished at the temple, thanks to the Grey Wardens.
As I said, the Grey Wardens responsible for that crime were under the control of Corypheus. We can discuss this further once we return to Adamant.
Which is filled with wardens who made blood sacrifices to raise a demon army.
How dare you judge us? You tore Kirkwall apart and started the Mage Rebellion!
To protect innocent mages, not madmen drunk on blood magic. The wardens have gone mad. Or maybe they always were. Someone has to stop them.
Agreed. The wardens may once have served a greater good, but they are far too dangerous now.
What are you saying? You want to get rid of the Wardens? Everyone makes mistakes. They would have died to save us.
I don't know what to tell you. There are a few good ones, but an awful lot of the Wardens I've known went crazy.
Sweet Maker, could both of you please shut up? We can argue once we've escaped from the giant fear demon.
Inquisitor!
The nightmare has found us.
Form up!
I'm with you.
Real or not, the Divine is the key to escaping from the Fade.
Warden Stroud, how must it feel to devote your whole life to the Wardens only to watch them fall? Or worse, to know that you were responsible for their destruction? When the next blight comes, will they curse your name?
With the Maker's blessing, we will end this wretched beast.
Do you think you can fight me? I am your every fear come to life. I am the veiled hand of Corypheus himself. The demon army you fear, I command it. They are bound all through me.
Ah, so if we banish you, we banish the demons. Thank you. Every fear come to life.
I guess things just float whenever they feel like it here. Wonder what's up there. Or maybe it's best we never find out.
Hard to outrun anything in this swamp.
You must get through the rift, Inquisitor. Get through, and then slam it closed with all your strength. That will banish the army of demons and exile this cursed creature to the farthest reaches of the Fae.
Almost there!
Great, Hawk. Why not just dare the old gods to try and stop you?
If you would, please tell Liliana. I am sorry. I felt you too.
You cannot stand against me.
Stay strong!
You will die in agony. You are nothing.
We need to clear a path!
Go! I'll cover you.
No, you were right. The Grey Wardens caused this. A warden must...
A warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine. Hawk. Say goodbye to Varric for me.
the Nightmare banished, Corypheus lost both his Warden mages and his demon army. But in the stories your soldiers will tell, their Inquisitor broke the spell with the Maker's blessing.
They came out of this alive. As far as I'm concerned, they can tell whatever stories they like.
And I suspect this will not be the last story they tell about you.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venatori Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clarel's tragic mistake.
Where's Hawk? Where's Hawk?
Hawk sacrificed her life to save us and strike a decisive blow against Corypheus.
Well...
She gave her life not because she'd sworn an oath or been marked as special, but because someone had to do it.
Stroud, you're the senior surviving Grey Warden. What do we do now?
You stay and do whatever you can to help. Stroud believes that the Wardens are worth saving, and I trust him. You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori. But there are plenty of demons that need killing.
While they do that, I'll report to the Wardens at Weishaupt. We won't be caught off guard by Corypheus again.
Thank you, your worship. We will not fail you.
Maker watch over your Inquisition. It has been an honor.
Stroud sent me one final report. He's on his way to Weishaupt. As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori. You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
At the time, it felt like a lot of running and escaping.
Either way, Corypheus lost the army he would have used to conquer Thedas. You took an army from Corypheus, but that will matter little if Orlais falls into chaos. All arrangements have been made for the ball in Halam Shiral. Let us know when you are ready to proceed.
Remind me what we know about the plot against Selene.
The Venatori are planning some kind of attack on the Imperial Court. Corypheus may even be fueling the conflict between the Empress and her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard. If we warn Selene, she may prove a most valuable ally against Corypheus.
I'll go as soon as I am able.
Good. Cullen, Josephine and I will discuss the best way to gain an audience with the Empress. Speak with us when you are ready. What was she like? Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
She refused to say anything outright. I could have used more direct answers and fewer journeys of self-discovery.
She made a lot of people feel that way.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, "I'm sorry. I failed you too."
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further.
Thank you.
And voila, we have now done Here Lies the Abyss. Now, I know, obviously, you know, like, you can get Stroud, Alistair, and, Logain as the 3 possible wardens, and obviously Hawk would be there. And I know that, you know, like, it does give you the choice and everything, but if you still follow the strands of destiny, it's Hawk's destiny to stay behind there. And so far as we see, the choice is said that whoever gets left behind would most likely die. It did not say specifically that person was going to die. Because as far as we know, that the last time we see whoever it is gets left behind, a claw, one of the claws struck down, and that's all you see, and then that's it. That's why a lot of people, you know, were hoping for the Veilguard. It picks up a maybe a side story to show that since Varric is for some reason the only one that traveled all the way to the Imperium, you know, to track down Solus, some people thought like maybe behind the scenes as well with the comics they made, that maybe it must have shown that, you know, like Varric must have worked with some of the mages there that could travel into the Fade, or could somehow travel into the Fade to find Hawk and rescue her. But no, nothing. Nope. It did nothing for Hawk, nothing for the hero Ferelden, and, you know, that's it. So literally, you know, what happens here pretty much gets left on a cliffhanger, pretty much. And obviously, you know, in the heat of the moment, some people could say, you know, like, oh, the game is good, this and this and this and that. But then, when they realize the story aspect of it, that's when they're like, oh shit, yeah, they just pretty much forgot about it. And just left it as it is. Because honestly, you know, like I said again, the Veilguard does have its good moments here and there, but in terms of storytelling, story-wise, narrative directions and all that, big thumbs down. Epic failure. Horrible. But nonetheless, we've finally done that. Obviously, next video, we will concentrate on doing some more travelings to, what's it called again? It's Crestwood. Crestwood? Yeah. Crestwood, and obviously the western approach, where we will not be fighting the dragon at all. We will definitely do that later. Fix up the bridges so we can cross by the poison breads, or whatever they're called, and possibly do some more looting around, maybe do some stuff for Cassandra, and, you know, so forth. All that will be for next video, and as always, leave a like and comments.